Well, I found out something, and I wasn't sure how long it was going to last, but I put this truck bed lining on this engine here quite a while ago on his valve covers, and you know, they're a little dirty right now. I did it on the intake, back on the brake booster back there. It had some rust on there on the brake booster. I just sprayed it down with some Rust-Oleum rust converter primer and put it on the blower motor back there over a year ago. And also up here on the radiator support, this stuff, I wasn't sure if it was going to hold up. You see all on the water pump, which is pretty hot. None of it flaked off. See that right there? None of it flaked off up there. This on it. I didn't put it on there too heavy, but just enough to cover it. And to be quite honest, I didn't clean this off as good as I should have when I put this stuff on. Now, it's been on there about a year, and I do use this car a few times a week, and actually I've had it on some long trips too. Never burned off. And to be quite honest, it's actually lasted longer than what you supposedly use for engine paint. And this is not the professional grade that Rust-Oleum sells. It's just the regular grade. I think the professional grade's got like kind of like a grayish color here, and it's quite a bit more money. I forget what this costs. It's $6-7 a spray can. Professional grade, I think, is like $12. I never buy that one. It's like, because this one always worked good enough for me. So, you know, if you want to make some valve covers, like, you know, with that crinkle finish paint, I'd use this junk, but just don't put it on there too heavy. I should probably spray some up under the hood here or something, but you know, I'm not going to do that right now. But I found out it really helps. I didn't think this crap would stick on here. I just threw it on here one day. But here it's over a year later, and it's still on there, and it's still on there nice and solid. I didn't even clean this junk off, man. This was on here. Usually this paint just flakes right the hell off of here, man. It's like it's on there. It's a little dirty. That's the problem. But it's on there, man. It almost looks a little shiny, you know? But it's on there, man. Now, of course, if it's in a real super high heat area, like near your exhaust manifold on your heads, sure, that's going to flake off. But I put it all up and around on here, and some crazy crap. I'd almost think that, you know, if I go do this engine again or something like that, I start taking the parts apart, I might give it a real light, you know, after a chemically clean, like say the valve, the timing case cover, give it a real light coat of this truck bed lining, then paint it to like the Chevy orange over it, because I think it's going to stick better to the truck bed lining, and I think the truck bed lining is going to adhere to the metal a lot better than regular Chevy orange engine paint. And you know, if you don't put it on there real heavy, it comes out, I don't know, it comes out like a satin sheen or something. That's what it is. So looks good enough to me, man. So I'm going to be painting my oil pan right now on a Sebring convertible. Yeah, see, up on this oil pan, it always gets now what paint I put on there, it gets all screwed up. So it's going to get a coat, some of this, just on the bottom, because it seems to, no matter what paint I put on there, I don't know, rocks and stuff freaking seem to chip off the paint. And I'm actually putting some JB Weld up on where the oil pump attaches to the engine block. There's a slight oil leak. I'm going to try to get rid of it like that. It's a lot of labor to move that AC and alternator bracket out of the way. That thing was a major pain in the butt to get that bracket out of the way so I can get up in there. But say you got a 4x4 and you know everything's getting smacked up on the bottom with rocks and stuff. This stuff, I mean, yeah, you can put, you know, if you got a leaky oil, you got some leaky oil seals, that'll protect it from rust too. But you know, if oil's getting all over the place, but you know, this stuff here is this is some great junk. I mean, you know, the oil pan's going to always get gravel smacked into it, and anything underneath the bottom on the frame. this stuff is well worth it. And it's good having just a spray can, because you could just touch it up once in a while. And you know, if you really want to go to town with it, you can use like brake clean to really clean the surface. But you know what I usually use is awesome detergent cleaner, and just hose it off, go over it a couple times, and once it's dried off, it'll that stuff will stick really. The stuff will stick really good. It is pretty damn chemically clean. I'll show you what I mean with that junk. Yeah, and a lot of times all I do is I just spray it down with some of this awesome detergent right here, and hose it off really good and let it dry. Maybe do it a couple times. That stuff really seems to deep clean with the area. I mean, I'm not talking about for painting a car for like on the outside exterior. I'm just talking about on the bottom where you might get some rust or something. And I never used the professional grade Rust-Oleum, because the regular stuff, the regular truck bed lining seemed to work really good. And I was like, I don't know, you know, if you got it on there prepped, if it's prepped pretty good, it sticks. It stays on there for umpteen years. As a matter of fact, this piece here, this is my clutch shield. This is old speaker I got laying on it. This is my clutch shield for the belt housing. I use truck bed lining on that because there's going to be all kinds of stones hitting that thing. You know, I could paint it, but you know what's going to happen? The first stone that hits it, it's going to chip the paint off. So definitely a good idea for people who got some, you know, 4x4 stuff too. But you can paint the engine itself. It sticks on there good. I don't know what the, you know, they don't tell you what the heat rating is, but obviously this stuff seems to hold up to the heat a hell of a lot better than ordinary paint. It seems to be about as good as engine paint, and it don't come off, man. That's what's amazing about it too. The engine paint, I never got that stuff to stick on there that long, especially around on the intake manifold where the gas, some of the gaskets, you know, the valve covers, it stick on there pretty good if you freaking got it prepped. But even when I just sprayed this on where the intake manifold was, and I didn't even clean it that well, this stuff's still on there fine. So that's how you figure the things out. You just try them and see what happens. So I figured I'd pass on that tip.